Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good. It is snowing here, like a lot. It was not snowing when I drove home, and then like 10 minutes later, there was snow. Crazy. Yesterday, we talked a good bit about maintaining relationships and how I find it very difficult. And this all kind of spawned from last Friday's discussion because Jonathan in the comments left a pretty good comment talking about how similarly, we feel like we don't want to be in people's way. And so, just continuing this thread of conversation, Jonathan left another comment that had me thinking again, which was, he says, I wonder if sometimes that my bent towards being helpful to people is some way to ingratiate myself to them, or maybe feel I've earned the right to bug them by being around. And yeah, I totally align myself with that sentiment that I'm that person that I would much rather be the helper than be the one requesting help. Like I enjoy I enjoy helping people. I enjoy giving way more than I enjoy receiving. And that's in a lot of different ways. It doesn't, not necessarily just in friendships, but in professional life, I'm much better at being the one who is asked to do something rather than to be the one to ask people to do things. And I think that it does get in the way sometimes. When you're not assertive enough to say I need this, then it's very easy to let people walk on you. And I've had to learn a lot about that over the years, how to not let that happen, because I am just that person who wants to just, I like being helpful. Jonathan continues by saying, is it as simple as low self-esteem that if we don't feel great about ourselves, then we assume others might not either? Maybe, and it might be a self-esteem issue where it's like I get more benefit from being helpful than asking somebody or bugging somebody to do something for me. So it sounded like a lawnmower out there all of a sudden. So maybe it is a self-esteem issue. Maybe it is like I don't feel like I deserve to ask something from somebody unless I have personally helped that person. But I don't have that issue at all in the real world. It's not like I don't have problems asking service workers to do something for me. I don't have problems asking strangers who are in a better position from helping me. But I think it's when it's somebody that I have to see regularly or that I have to interact with in some capacity again in the future, it becomes much more difficult for me to be assertive without first having set the stage. Like Jonathan said, hopefully it's not coming across as being buggy just because I want something. I get that sentiment. And so the other person, Daniel, also commented, that he said it's interesting how we're all very different in how we interact with others and how we all feel about these interactions. He's very much like me by feeling better about being a servant than being served, and he always worries about his interactions if he has any way offended anyone. And that's the thing. I know people like this. I know people who are want to be everybody's friends. And I did have the ability to learn how to learn that I can't please everyone. I can't be everybody's friend. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be cordial. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be helpful towards somebody that I don't consider to be a friend. But I also recognize that I just simply can't make myself friendly and available to everyone. It's not how life works. He goes on to talk about. He says, I think that medical doctors can do their job and sleep at night because they do not worry about causing offense. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think that their self-esteem and confidence is kind of earned through the intense amount of training that they have gone through in their lives. And so they know that they're not doing something wrong. And there's, they kind of have a code where it's almost like a Bushido code or something, where it's like, this is how I treat patients, this is how I treat their family, and it's a very easy way to interact with people because it removes the emotion from it. It removes the personality from it. I have some doctors, I have met some doctors, and I continue to see doctors that are very personal. They break that kind of doctor-patient relationship, and we talk a bit about life in general, and I enjoy seeing those people, but I don't think it hampers their ability to be my doctor, which is good. I'm reaching that age where like I'm the same age as the doctors now. I've realized that, like, I go see doctors who are my age. Yep. So, both of these comments put me on some thought trains today about why is it that there are those of us who feel like we owe somebody something before we've ever interacted with them. Like, it's very common for me to feel like I need to present myself as a helpful person, present myself as a person with knowledge and with understanding long before I ever need anything from that person. And, is it a character flaw? Is it a bad thing? I'd like to think that I'm not that creepy person who just tries to be everybody's friend and inadvertently stabs people in the back to try to be friends with other people and goes, plays both sides. Those people suck. I don't like those people. But it's taken me a long time to understand how to interact with people when I'm without expectation. Let's put it that way. Either from myself or from them. And it's okay to ask somebody to do something for you. It's okay for them to say no. Like, that's okay. It's not enough. It's not, I've learned to not take that personally. So, I don't know. I like this conversation, though. If you have more thoughts about it, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for being here as always. And thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow.
Here's a fact about Texas. From Wikipedia, the Port Arthur refinery in southeast Texas is the largest refinery in the United States. Texas leads in natural gas production, producing 1/4 of the nation's supply.
Wow. 1/4 in one state. Whoa. Texas tea.